So in the e-commerce world, there's a lot of things that can impact your sales, reviews being one of the big ones. So today I want to talk about how to manage and reply to and automate your reviews from Shopee and Lazada here on Zaapi. So the prerequisite for this is if you have your own Shopee and Lazada accounts already linked to Zaapi, then you'll be able to manage the reviews here on the platform without needing to go to the seller center. So you can find that by here in the left-hand panel where it says Workspace and you go to Reviews. And let's open one of them. Now, when you're in this screen, let's go over the couple of menus that you have available to you. The first one is the search bar. You can search by the product name, order ID, or by the customer name. Then over here, you have the date selector. You can pick the time period where the person left the review for you. Or if you want to select by range, you can do that here. Integrations tab is for if you have multiple Shopee accounts or multiple Lazada accounts and you just want to view one of them at a time, you can do that here. In the content panel, you can select reviews with content or without content. So with content meaning there's words being written or there's images. Without content being just the star itself. And then you can look at the follow-up status. Is the follow-up marked or unmarked? The next set of filters you have below is you can look at the status here, which one have been replied to and which one has not been replied to, or you can just filter by star rating. Now we scroll down a little bit and look at the reviews themselves. Let's break this down by sections. So here you have the rating, the product, and then the review content. This is what the person wrote about your product. And here you have the seller response, which is what you reply to the person. And you can see which one of your members replied to this customer here and the time. If you want to leave a note, this is going to be used internally. Only you can see this on your platform here in Zaapi. If there's ever a need, you can go ahead and mark as follow-up. And then you can just view all the ones that are marked as follow-up here. In this panel here, you have a few options. You can reply to a review. I can't select that right now because a reply has already been written. Or another thing is that if this is an actual customer, it's on a demo account, so there's nothing here. But if this is an actual customer, I can hit go to conversation and I can start a direct message with that customer about this review. This thing right here that says automation log, we will come back to this here in a minute. But for all the reviews, you can select bulk reply up to 20 at a time. And then you can go ahead and click reply here. And we can just bulk reply to these reviews all at once. In addition to that, everything you see here, you can export as CSV. Now, replying to reviews on Shopee and Lazada here in one location is very nice and it's very convenient. But the thing that's going to take this to the next level is being able to automate this process. So let me show you how you can do that. For that, you have to go to Flow Builder, and then we'll create a new flow. You can go off a template here about reply to reviews. Or we could just start a custom flow. I have to show you how to do it from the custom. So we can start with a trigger, and the trigger is going to be review receive, okay? I can select which platform I want to reply and specifically which account within that platform. Again, this is relevant if you have multiple Shopee accounts. You can select the ones you want to behave this way. But for the sake of demonstration, we'll just select both of them. So when a review comes in, I want to do the following. I have a few options here. The first set of nodes are the conditions. I can segment by review rating, review content, which is specific keywords, product, business hours, and then we have these two that we're going to talk about here in a second. Now, let's talk about the first one, which is the review rating. So if it's a 5-star review, I can take a few actions, right? I can reply to review, or I can send a direct message to that customer. I'm going to go ahead and reply to this review. And for this, I can say, thank you very much, Mr. Customer, for your nice review. Simple as that. But you don't want to write the same thing for every review because then that will sound a little robotic. So what you can do is you can use this randomizer node here. Here, I have utility. I'm going to go randomizer. So what this will do is that 50% of the time, I can write review copy A, or the other 50% of the time, I can write review copy B. Now for this, I can direct up to 5 paths, and then I can split this equally. So right now I have 3. Okay, so 33% of the time, it will go to one of these review paths. Very nice, right? And I can do the same thing for a specific product, right? So if I go back to conditions, if I want to segment by specific products, only write this review, I can do that here. But now let's talk about how AI can play a role into this and make things a little bit better. So what if the customer leaves a 5-star review, but in the written review part, they say this is the worst product ever. For that, I don't want to say, hey, thank you, Mr. Customer, for your very nice review. I want to be able to contextually reply accurately to what the customer is saying, or else it's just going to sound weird, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use AI to detect sentiment. I can do that here. AI sentiment for reviews. So you can see here, if the sentiment is positive, then I can write a certain review copy. If it's neutral, I can write a certain review copy. And if it's negative, I can say something else. This is all within 5-star reviews, and I can do this for all the stars if I like. Now, something of note here is you have this other option here if the AI cannot detect sentiment. So this is if the customer leaves a 5-star review, but they just leave an image, right? For that, the AI can't really detect if it's a positive image or is it a negative image. It's a little ambiguous. So for that, the AI would not be able to detect sentiment. Now, if that were to happen, you have a few options, right? You can drag this out and you can take action. You can mark the review as a follow-up so one of your team members can review. You can add note to review. Again, this will only be seen internally. So if you go to that review page that we were at earlier, you would see this in the agent's notes, right? Or you can just try to reply to review, which that's possible as well. Or you can direct message the customer. So we have a few options for those. So the other AI node that's on here is AI detect for intent. Now this is the upgrade version of the content segmentation node. So let me show you what that's like. So for the basic node of this one, you can do review content, right? So if the review contains the word, I hate this product sucks, anything like that, any words like that, then you can trigger one of these paths or one of these reviews, automated messages you have here. Plus, you can know ahead of time everything the customer is going to say and predict it all and put it here. That can be very difficult to do, and some reviews are going to slip through the cracks. So what you can do is you can use AI intent. So what the AI will do is analyze what the content of the review is, will route it to the right path. So for example, this one, customer threatens legal action, right? Or if customer has, let's say you sell lotion and a customer apply it on their skin and they got like skin rashes. So you can put that here, right? Allergic reaction. Then what I can do for reviews that have allergic reaction is I can mark the review as a follow-up. So what this will do is that if I go to the review page, any review that has content that is related to allergic reaction, it will be followed up, and then I could just review that myself, and then I can decide what to do further. Now, what's so awesome about these features is that any of the AI intent or sentiment detection in the reviews does not consume token. So this is included with the advanced plan. So if I go back to my main review page, and right here, if I look at the automation logs, there's nothing here because nothing's being automated. But if I use any of those automations that I just showed you, anything that happened, all the steps that it took will be shown here, and you can always review that. So this is just one more way you can manage everything in one location, and you don't have to worry about switching apps or going back to Seller Center and then back to Facebook, etc., to manage all of your customer conversations. You can do it all through Zaapi. Go ahead and manage your reviews on it now, and see you guys in the next one.